status. I mean, it's unbelievable, Kyle.
What was the first thing I said to you when you told me?
You were like, well, I'm part of 1017 The Truth, and I care a lot about social justice, and I'm worried about Blackfield being arrested. No. You were like, my fantasy wide receiver. All I care about is my fantasy team.
He was my first overall pick. I ain't got time for that. What did he do? Is he playing?
You're like, it wasn't domestic, was it? I was like, no, it's just a...
Well, I just...
No, because he had... You said it wasn't domestic, was it? Because you didn't want it to be serious. Once you heard he was driving, then you were like, oh, I just care about my fantasy team.
I mean, what was he driving? Drunk. You said on the way to the game. I said, okay. Yeah. So he's probably speeding a little bit, you know.
I would guess what happened is probably very similar to what Scotty Scheffler has, right? Like where you're going into the game, you're in your zone, maybe there's some early traffic already, you're trying to go around the traffic in a way that isn't legal, but because you're one of the players, you assume that it's understood that you can do that, and then all of a sudden, an officer pulls you over, but they did say arrested, not just pulled over. Tyreek Hill was in fact arrested, according to the ESPN report, but as I said, the report also says that Tyreek Hill is expected to play. So that is a lot happening early, but there is video of him being placed into handcuffs, which you have to imagine, I mean, is going to have an impact on someone. We saw Scotty Scheffler go out that day after going into jail, and he was in a cell for a while and played a great round of golf. I mean, NFL football, I mean, after going through something like this today, I mean, I can only imagine. But what an opening week to the NFL season. It's already been where Isaiah Likely's toe was like the Kevin Durant for the Milwaukee Bucks, getting the Bucks to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021. So the first game of the season ends on Kevin Durant's toe. The second game of the season, the one that we care a lot more about here, ends on Jordan Love's MCL. And the Packers go down to the Philadelphia Eagles in a game I think people are going to remember for Jordan Love's injury and for people falling down. And like the thought of, should there been a game on a proper football field that was played there where, you know, it's a soccer field basically, right? And they were playing football and obviously impacted the game in a lot of ways. I'm saying it impacted my guy Narveson, and that's why he missed his field goal. There's no way he would have missed a kick.
Oh, so you're a Narv dog guy too, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Do you know the story behind Braden Narveson?
No,
with me?
Not really. No.
So remember I was asking Shefty about names, right?
Yeah.
And so, wow, you gotta follow KB and ESPN on social media. The day before, on that Monday, right after you came on, or after Shefty joined you on Sunday Karma, on Kyle Bruston Nortman, that was my guy. I said he's on their Tennessee Titans roster right now, but by Wednesday he'll be a Green Bay Packer.
Wow,
you didn't know that?
You called that? No, I didn't know that.
Wow,
I didn't know that was
so
you.
That's our guy.
Yep,
he is officially our favorite Sunday Karma kicker.
Yeah, well, Jamar Chase still will not get a deal done before the game. He is questionable versus the Patriots with an illness.
Yeah, his stomach hurt, his head hurt from not getting that money.
Now, all of a sudden, my fantasy team's in play here.
Wait a minute, you need to check on him. Make sure he's okay. He ain't got the COVID or anything like that. You worried about fantasy. Let's worry about the man's health. Maybe going on some mental health stuff because he ain't getting paid.
Yeah. I mean, I think he has like a base of $1 million.
No, that's got to be higher than that.
I'm saying I think that's his base. Like, you know, he had a signing bonus, right, as a top draft pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, but they don't give a base of $1 million. That base got to be higher than that.
For some reason, I thought I just saw that flash on the screen. But what I mean, look, I will get back to the Packers in a second. But you have two of the top receivers in the NFL here. You have Tyreek Hill.
Oh wow, you're right.
Arrested and released immediately before the game, and you have Jamar Chase, who, you know, we don't know if he is going to play. He is questionable. We're less than 2 hours before kickoff of the NFL season, and we're not sure if, I guess we believe based on Tyreek Hill's agent, but we're not sure if Tyreek Hill or Jamar Chase are going to be able to play today.
We gonna be good. We good. He got arrested and released. He's fine. He didn't do anything
I
too
actually
bad.
think Tyreek Hill, when I've watched enough of him and things, I actually think he'll have a huge game today.
I do too. I mean, listen, he had a lot of stuff that's happened in his life. This is light work.
Yeah, and I think if anything, this will get him focused even more. Again, like I watched a bunch of video on him in the offseason. So anyway, so that's some crazy stuff. But back to the Packers, and we're going to remember the messy field and all that. But Jordan Love now, the hope for the Packers is that it is a 3 to 4 week injury. But this is not something that we didn't see coming, right? Like this is something that, on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, I joined them and they were asking, they were talking a lot about linebackers and offensive line and, all different things. But when they asked me going into the year what the concern might be, here's the conversation.
Craig, what position group worries you the most for the Packers when we are a week away from their first game? What gives you concern?
I would say the position group is are you allowed to have a position group of the backup? I think this team, they'll figure out the offensive line. To me, they can figure out every single thing going on with this team. It's just about Jordan Love being healthy.
The position group that worried me was the backup quarterback position group. And that's what we've seen, already. I don't understand why it would be so undervalued by the Packers. And I understand they made a trade before the season, but it just seems so weird to me, Kyle, that we know how important the quarterback position is. And the Packers, again, I said I understood last year. You didn't want to have too good of a backup quarterback, like a real experienced guy who you knew could come in and win, because that would put a lot of pressure on Jordan Love. And who knows what that would have meant to them early in the year when Jordan Love was struggling. But when you clearly have paid your quarterback and you have a clear number one, I don't understand why you wouldn't make sure to have an experienced, winning backup quarterback.
Because it's not the Green Bay Packers way. That's just not what they.
But what does that mean?
It's not part of what their plan is. They went out, they invested a 7th round draft pick in Malik Willis, who obviously they believe.
You're
that
saying
if
that's not their way. I'm saying, why isn't it their way? Are we not able to question that?
I can't.
And I'm
tell
not questioning it after the fact, right?
No,
you heard me say that. That was a week before the season. I'm saying, if you're trying to win, and actually this year people are like, hey, they could be in the NFC Championship, right? That's one of your theories, right?
Yes.
That they could be in NFC. So that means every win is going to matter. And when that's the case and you're at that level, then you need someone. And I just don't understand it.
When you have gotten away with not having to have a big name backup quarterback, the Green Bay Packers for the most part. Blaine Gabbert was a
I'm
backup
saying
once,
again, I'm not saying a big name. I'm just saying there. You see, there's 10, 15 guys who are these established backup quarterbacks who get paid, right? You pay them $8 million a year,
and the Packers aren't going to do that,
right? But why?
Because they're not going to invest $8 million a year in something like that. That's just not what.
But that's going to move more wins and losses for a typical team than any other position.
That's very true, but you're talking about the worst case scenario, and the Green Bay Packers obviously don't focus on the worst case scenario. And so for me, when you look at guys who have started for the Green Bay Packers, other than Brett Favre, other than Aaron Rodgers, other than Jordan Love, you're talking about a Seneca Wallace that got to start. You're talking about a Matt Flynn that got to start. You're talking about a Scott Tolzien who got to start as well. Like, these aren't well-known great backup quarterbacks, Craig. These are just guys. Brett Hundley, Jordan Love, his rookie year or second year in the league, he got a chance to start. I think it was second year in the league. So, this just that's not what the Green Bay Packers do. They typically draft guys and try to develop them. Even though they did not draft Malik Willis, they drafted a Sean Clifford. They drafted the young man from Tulane who named not on our team, don't care anymore. But They draft guys and try to coach them up so then they can be serviceable backups. That's what they're doing. And with Malik Willis, they got a guy who actually has starting experience in the NFL that they believe can potentially run this offense. So before
sure, but he's not a.
We're going into panic mode right now.
I'm not panicking. This
You
is
are-
again
you
what
are panicking.
No, this is what I said before the season.
But now
I'm saying philosophically.
you're taking a victory rap on my boy getting hurt. Of me being all sad
No,
yesterday.
I'm not.
Because you were right about the fact that Jordan Love's health is the most important, which is right. But I say this, is that let's wait and see about Malik Willis before we think that we have to get some veteran backup. Malik Willis, I believe this is his third year in the NFL.
Yep.
Malik Willis was a guy that was looked at as a potential starter. He lost that position to Will Levis. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But Malik Willis still may be talented enough to be just as good as a Seneca Wallace, just as good as a Scott Tolzien, just as good
I
as a
agree,
Deshaun
but he's
Heisler,
still.
better than those
But no,
guys.
but. Again, the people you're saying aren't what I'm talking about. That is what he could be, and he could develop into a good backup quarterback. What I'm talking about is I don't understand why you wouldn't want to have a veteran backup quarterback, a guy who's played in the league 8, 9, 10, 12 years, who has seen it all.
They not paying nobody $8 million to hold a clipboard. They just
Why?
not going to do it because
But
they've been
they have all the money in the world. It's not a money thing,
Craig,
is it?
don't you realize is that your life experiences, the decisions that you make in life, right, as an organization, dictate how you go about things. For the Green Bay Packers,
Wait, so you're saying because Brett Favre didn't miss any games,
No, I'm saying
that's why
Aaron
they
Rodgers-
shouldn't have a good backup
I'm
quarterback?
saying
a
because-
veteran backup quarterback?
I'm saying because the Green Bay Packers have never been burned. They have not been burned in 30 years of
But
not
they have.
having. But when-
Aaron Rodgers got hurt in
in
week
the-
1, and that whole season was a disaster. I mean, there
But
were
they-
multiple years
but the
that were
Aaron-
brought down by injuries that Aaron
I believe
had.
they still made the playoffs that
One
year,
of the
didn't
2
they?
years they did.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I remember being at the
Yeah,
at
the Scott
game.
Tolzien year, Scott Tolzien helped them eke out a tie, and then Aaron came back and they beat the Bears and they ended up making the playoffs.
And then there was another one where they beat the Detroit Lions when Aaron Rodgers had a bad calf, and I think he missed some. Yeah, I think he might have missed some games. But my whole point is this: is that if you have not been burned by a situation or scenario, you are not inclined to say, "Okay, we can't have this happen again." And so obviously,
Wait,
they
by the way,
believe-
can we get can we try to get ESPN on here? Just we do have Drew Rosenhaus, the agent for Tyreek Hill, talking to ESPN and ESPN's Jeff Darlington right now about the Tyreek Hill situation as it's going on live. The Dolphins head of security, it appears, got involved. They're not saying exactly what the driving incident was. And, because it is a legal situation, they're not going into many details. They are just saying they do hope he will play today. They did not say 100%, but it does look like the expectation is Tyreek Hill will play. And
have you ever seen another agent who seems to be everywhere at one time? Drew Rosenhaus on draft night seems like he's everywhere.
Right. I mean, Drew Rosenhaus does find his way to the camera, though, right? Like, I feel like if it was other agents, they may not be interviewed on the field right before the game.
Not Drew. He's right on the field talking about his guy because he for sure was going to be in Miami. Because I know he's based out of Miami, I think. He for sure is going to be in Miami with his guy Tyreek.
Yeah, this is just a bizarre situation where Tyreek Hill was the only player involved in this situation. It seems as if other players from his team came to his aid, as did security playing. And they are saying, yes, he will play. You will see him on the field shortly in warmups. So that is your update. And, cool to see our guy Greeny, Mike Greenberg, leading Sunday NFL Countdown for the first time ever. He's going to be your host of all season long. Mike Greenberg, your host of Sunday NFL Countdown.
That's a lot of work for my guy.
Yeah.
Every Sunday?
Yep. That's why our guy Evan Cohen will be in for him on Thursdays and Fridays on the radio show.
Oh, love that.
So Greeny can be doing the weekend show, which is exciting. So, all right, we have a lot to get into. Jason Wilde's going to join us, get the latest on Jordan Love and the Packers in 15 minutes, and we will get you ready for week 1 of the NFL season and get our thoughts on what happened for the Green Bay Packers in week 1, as well as their week 2 of your Wisconsin Badgers. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. after every single green and gold game.
You can say it doesn't matter, but that's not being fair.
There's only one place to go for instant reaction.
Once, since they won the Super Bowl in 2010, one season, have they done better than 10th in points given up.
And to give yours on the Boda Box Wine Line. Tune into Green Bay Game Night with Homer after every green and gold game. Right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Get high-quality paints and save big money on your next project. Now at Menards. Give your room a fresh new look with Pittsburgh Ultra Interior Paint. It's a paint and primer in one that provides a durable, washable finish that can be made in thousands of colors. Save big money on Ultra Interior Paint and head into Menards to get your paint project started today.
Save big money at Menards.
I'd rather ride a bike with my kids.
Faster! I'd rather play catch with my dog than catch pneumococcal pneumonia.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20 pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. If you are 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like heart disease or asthma, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'd rather race for some ice cream. Let's go!
Schedule your vaccination today at Prevnar20.com.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. I have a question for you business owners. Does your CPA help you plan for your future or just tell you how you did? We just helped a manufacturing client triple their space by working with a bank we know. Their bank wouldn't help, so we contacted a banker we work with who said yes, with very favorable terms. We are also working with a Milwaukee area restaurant to pass ownership between generations and expand the restaurant. They will be able to add more tables and update their equipment using a combination of bank and government financing, again, on favorable terms. When their bank said no, we found one who said yes. This is what we do at the Neal Group. We are advocates and partners with our clients to help them grow, not just record history. What about you? Do you want to grow your business, improve cash flow, have less stress, and live a better life? We can help. Visit nealgroup.net to book a meeting to tell us your story and see if we can help. The first meeting is free. Don't wait. Do it now. That's nealgroup.net.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman here for Carbless, my go-to drink this summer. Handcrafted right here in Wisconsin, Carbless is a ready-to-drink vodka and tequila cocktail. Perfect for hanging out on the patio by the grill, chilling on the lake, or tailgating at the Brewers game. Plus, it's got 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. All summer, make sure you're following Carbless on Instagram at Drink Carbless for your chance to win a Summer Bliss prize package. Find Carbless online and at retailers near you. Carbless. Liss is more.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by Coors Light.
I think I'm going to have to bring Romeo Dobbs into the Tausch stand category and start promoting and pushing him more.
Wilde and Tausch.
I feel like he is just so
criminally.
Like, he's an afterthought for too many Packer fans, and I think he's going to have a bust-out year.
Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Girls in my crib, 0 Snapchat, 0 Instagram, swing. The vibe might start falling like London Bridge.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
So, Kyle, why do you think the Packers lost?
They lost to a better football team on week 1, if you ask me. I feel like just overall the Green Bay Packers struggled to slow down Saquon Barkley when they really needed to. They couldn't get off the field on third downs. Too many little slant routes that they were able to get to Devontae Smith. So I just think overall that was a better football team week 1, which makes sense. So you have Devontae Smith, you have A.J. Brown, you have Saquon Barkley, you have Jalen Carter on the defensive line. Like, it's a good football team.
I disagree.
Oh.
I mean, I agree they're a good football team, but I think both teams, it was very week one, like teams figuring stuff out, some bad interceptions by both quarterbacks, right? Jordan Love one, Hurts threw two, maybe not the best decision, running interceptions out of the end zone. But to me, it came down to two drives for the Packers.
Let's hear them.
It was their second drive of the game and their third drive of the game, right? Packers come out and punt, first drive. They get an interception and they get a fumble and they get 6 total points out of it.
Yeah.
They needed 14 points there. You can't, like last year, all we said was this defense. They don't do anything. Like, we know the defense didn't get off the field all the time on Friday night in Brazil, but they got them the ball twice with, forget short field, they got them basically there with no field. And in those situations, you need to convert with a touchdown. And to me, that was the difference in the game. The Packers should have been up 14-0, and the game should be not over, but what I said going into the game, either the Packers will lose a close game or they'll win a blowout, because that's what I felt with the Eagles. And they had that opportunity.
Yeah, they did.
could have been up 14-0. Heads would have gone down from the Eagles. You know, we saw the Eagles fold late in last season, and I think it could have been like, here we go again.
So you think preseason had anything to do with this? They didn't play? I mean, it took them a little bit to get the rhythm together.
I think so for all
Especially the
teams,
running
right?
game, my
I
goodness.
think for all teams that's the case. But in their 4th, 5th, and 6th drives, they scored touchdowns, right?
They got
You know?
churning. They got going at the end of the game. I mean, Josh Jacobs started taking over. By the mid-third quarter, Josh Jacobs finally got
But
going.
I'm not exaggerating when I say that. It was punt the first drive, then they got the 2 short fields. Neither of those converted to touchdowns.
Yeah, you felt like you left points on the field.
And then
you definitely
the
did.
fact that they scored touchdown drives in drives 4, 5, and 6 made you feel like, oh my God, this could have been the Cowboys game again. If they had converted those 2 touchdowns, I think they blow the Eagles out of this field. I think that game ends up 42-21 or 42-17, something like that.
I definitely think they
Oh
scored.
my God! By the way,
wow, look at that.
By the way, we have multiple breaking news from the NFL. We are going to break from that to say that Dak Prescott has in fact signed his contract. So before he and the Dallas Cowboys take on the Cleveland Browns today in Week 1, Dak Prescott has agreed to a 4-year contract, making him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL and the highest paid player in the NFL. A bunch of quarterbacks had $55 million a year averages. This is a 4-year, $240 million extension for Dak Prescott, $60 million, making Dak Prescott now the new highest paid player in the history of the NFL. Also, inactives come out. Russell Wilson is inactive today. Justin Fields will, in fact, get the start.
Ooh, yes,
Week
your boy.
1 for the Pittsburgh
That's your
Steelers
boy.
against the Atlanta Falcons.
I have 2 questions for you.
So you'll have Justin Fields and Kirk Cousins, 2 quarterbacks from
The NFC North from last year, yeah.
from last year's NFC North. Exactly where I was going, Kyle. Right? We said at one point last year who's got the best quarterback in the division, and it was, I think, Cousins, Goff, Fields, Love.
Did you have Fields or Love ahead to start Week 1 last year?
Last year? Oh, I definitely think I had.
Come on, don't
did
say
I have Goff? I think I had Goff.
I'm saying you had Fields ahead of Love last year to start the season.
To start the season, I mean, you had to. I was big. Remember, I was huge on Love. I was down on the Packers last year.
You were down on the Packers.
I was down on the Packers. I was huge on Love. My thing last year was that Jordan Love was going to be so good, but that the rest of the team was so inexperienced, like the tight ends and the receivers, that even when Jordan Love was doing things well, it wouldn't look like he was doing them well because he had such an inexperienced group around him. So that's why what Jordan Love did last year to me was so surprising. I've been huge on Jordan Love. I just didn't think he had the supporting cast last year to do what he did. So it's wild to now see these 2 guys from the NFC North matching up with Kirk Cousins, now the favorite to win the NFC South, and Justin Fields getting an opportunity with a great running game, right? With Warren and Harris there in Pittsburgh. Be very interesting to see what they're able to do. They won a lot of games, as they do every year in Pittsburgh, without a quarterback.
That's a lot of threats in the backfield being able to run the ball.
Yeah.
Is Wilson's career over? Is he washed now? I mean,
he has a calf injury right now. His career's not over, but
I'm just saying it's going to be a struggle.
I think it's easy to say that. I think Russell Wilson will have a day still. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, he is 34 going on 35, I believe. Might be 35.
Yeah,
It's
we
tough.
just saw Thursday night, Lamar Jackson passed him as the third leading rusher for all-time quarterbacks. I mean, so I think Russell Wilson, sometimes we forget what he's compiled in what is a Hall of Fame career
compiled
for Russell
and
Wilson.
His best days are behind him.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
sad for me because I thought when he went down to Denver, he had a great opportunity. But again, Dak Prescott, highest paid quarterback. Does this make Jordan Love's contract look good now? Because now we know $60 million is where the bar is.
Yeah, every contract that gets signed.
Right?
Well, obviously you can't feel good with Jordan Love hurt. But I think as you look at Jordan Love and as you look at your franchise quarterback and as you look at the way the salary cap's going to continue to go up, we don't need to worry about what Jordan Love's paid. And we could have also paid a backup quarterback. But we'll talk about that with Jason Wilde. He joins us next. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
Do you remember that electric moment when you suddenly realized that she was the one?
The one you were going to love forever.
The one you'd been waiting your whole life to meet.
She is the one.
The one.
Now it's time to find the one engagement ring that sparkles like she does.
Come to Kessler's Diamonds. We have a collection of incredibly special diamond engagement rings called the One Collection.
You need one special engagement ring for the one woman you will ever love.
Kessler's Diamonds is the one jewelry store where you can find the One Collection.
And Kessler's is the one store that offers the world-famous, no excuses, no fine print, lifetime warranty on every diamond engagement ring we sell.
We have the freedom to do this for you because Kessler's Diamonds is the one diamond store owned by its employees.
The One Collection starts at just $550.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Find the Kessler's nearest you at Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
People across Wisconsin are enjoying the rewards, stability, and flexibility of a career in healthcare. Why not you? WIS Caregiver Careers can get you started as a certified direct care professional. You'll learn the skills you need to make life better for older adults or people with a disability. All training is free and online. Plus, earn $500 in bonuses. Start your new career. Sign up today at WisCaregiverCDCP.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Go to the head of the class on your next vehicle purchase exclusively at the Kunis Auto Group's Back to School sales event.
Good morning, class.
Expect a straight A passing grade when you add up the savings on your next vehicle from the automotive scholars at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region Kunis Auto Group dealerships. America's best-selling cars, trucks, and SUVs from both Buick and GMC, all marked down with September back-to-school discounts and savings. We're also offering incredible back-to-school discounts on our entire inventory of select pre-owned vehicles. Choose from over 1,500 vehicles on lot and online. While online, check out dozens of back-to-school service specials on everything from brakes, tires to oil changes. Plus, with a test driver purchase each week in September, 4 lucky winners will win free gas for a year. All at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region Kunis Auto Group dealerships in both Oak Creek and Greenfield. It's the Kunis Auto Group's exclusive September back-to-school sales event going on now. For additional event info, go to shopkunis.com.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, service, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
$1 million. That's big, really big. This September, Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is handing out a cool million, and you've got a shot at winning your share. The big $1 million giveaway is here. Just play with your rewards card and you're entered to win. Couldn't be easier and couldn't be bigger. No wonder it's called the Big One. For more details, visit paysbig.com/big one. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Finesse, 2 on.
Jason Wilde is brought to you by Boucher Automotive, where we ride with you every mile. 18 dealerships, 15 brands, and thousands of vehicles in stock. Check them out at Boucher.com.
Craig, what position group worries you the most for the Packers when we are a week away from their first game? What gives you concern?
I would say the position group is are you allowed to have a position group of the backup? I think this team, they'll figure out the offensive line. To me, they can figure out every single thing going on with this team. It's just about Jordan Love being healthy.
Good morning, Jason.
Well, hi. Good morning.
Well, Jason, we talked about it last week, about what I called kind of an arrogance, and then you heard it there from me 10 days ago. So this isn't after the fact. But Jordan Love is now going to be out for a while. By the way, Jamar Chase is active for today. The inactives and actives are coming out as we speak. Reports are that Jamar Chase is active for today, despite his contract situation not being resolved. As we said, Dak Prescott's has been resolved. He signed a 4-year extension. We said Justin Fields is starting in place of Russell Wilson, and that Tyreek Hill is active despite being detained by police before their game against the Jaguars with a driving violation. All right, Jason, we got everyone back caught up. So Jordan Love, before we get into the moving forward, let's just bask in the decision-making process and what led us to the situation where the Packers are right now with Jordan Love.
Well, I think, all right, first of all, I think one of the conversations that we had coming out of training camp was the backup quarterback situation and whether or not, this group was ready if something bad happened. And by the way, with Dak Prescott's deal getting done, I do think it's worth noting that I'm really glad Packers fans were as understanding as they were about Jordan Love's hold-in and him not participating in practice. I thought the vast majority of our fans that I interacted with were pretty positive and understanding about it. And this is exactly why, right? Like, if that knee turns in a slightly different direction and he's playing on an $11 million contract, that would be really, really tough to take when now he's a $220 million quarterback and he's been surpassed by Dak Prescott. But this reminds me of 2013 when they didn't like anybody that they had in camp. They didn't like Graham Harrell anymore. They didn't like B.J. Coleman. They didn't like Vince Young. So they get to the end of training camp and they wash them all out, and they bring in Scott Tolzien and Seneca Wallace to back up Aaron Rodgers. And, of course, that's the year that Rodgers breaks his collarbone for the first time. Jordan Love's not going to be sidelined as long as Rodgers was, but this is what happens when you have quarterbacks that you kind of like and then they don't play to the level that you wanted them to, and you don't feel good about any of them, then you make the move for Malik Willis. So I'm sorry, this is not an ideal situation. The good news is that, from what we understand, it's going to be 3-4 weeks maybe that he misses, because had this been more catastrophic, I would certainly think that they'd have been calling Ryan Tannehill and asking him if he'd like to consider unretiring or whatever it is he's doing right now.
Yeah, and 3 to 4 weeks is that your sense that that's the optimistic timetable or that is the target timetable? Do we have any sense around how realistic it is that Jordan will only miss, potentially only 3 games or even 2 games, that he could be back in 3 weeks?
Now that part I think is
is optimistic. I talked to a couple people yesterday, and again, none of them are doctors, but I think there was a euphoria that he had avoided a catastrophe, and then there was a feeling that, okay, not only that, but it's better than we thought it was going to be once they had the MRI. But again, this is a guy who is 25 years old, and the Packers are a very cautious group when it comes to injuries. And I don't think the one thing you don't want to do is rush your $220 million quarterback back onto the field just because he wants to get out there, and who knows what happens in the next 3 games. This is what they had to do with Rodgers too, with the broken collarbone. Remember, we were doing the show back then in 2013, and he wanted to get out there sooner than Doc McKenzie would allow him, and he probably came back sooner.
He
than
played
he
that
should've.
Panthers game, right? When he
that was 17.
Okay, so that was 17. Okay, 13 was the Bears year, where they won the Bears
13 was
game?
the Bears year, but
Yeah.
17 he definitely came back sooner because he negotiated that deal with Doc McKenzie and was able to play, and he didn't play well. And as soon as they lost, even though they weren't completely eliminated from playoff contention, they put him right back on injured reserve. So again, we'll see how optimistic this is. But my understanding is 3 to 4 weeks is 3 to 4 weeks. It doesn't mean 2 weeks, but also doesn't mean 6 weeks.
Yeah, so we chat with Jason Wilde. Do we know who that means is the starter? Because while he's not the backup currently on the depth chart, Clifford has more experience in the system.
Yeah, and that's why I was bringing up 2013, because as it turned out, and I love Scotty Tolzien a ton. He's a fantastic guy, and now he coaches Dak Prescott, oddly enough. But he hadn't been in the system. Seneca Wallace hadn't been in the system. Rodgers gets hurt, and Seneca Wallace then gets hurt also the following week, and Scott Tolzien ends up being the guy, and then they luck into Matt Flynn, very familiar with Mike McCarthy's offense, being released by the Bills and being available to them. And so with a guy that is more familiar with the offense, you would think that he would be the better alternative. But remember, they put Sean Clifford on the practice squad, and they did not call him up for the game on Friday night. They left him there. It was just Malik Willis who was backing up Love, and while I'm sure they weren't expecting what happened to happen, they felt they were comfortable enough with him, being up to speed in the offense that they could have him back up if something, because there's always the possibility that something bad really happens. So they apparently have the confidence in him for him to be the starter, but I agree. I would take a long, hard look and think very, very long and hard about the idea of playing Sean Clifford instead.
Jason, do you believe Malik Willis is an NFL starting caliber quarterback? Because I know he got drafted. He didn't get drafted as
not
high
right
as
now.
he
He's
wanted.
not.
So right now, you don't believe, after seeing him start a couple games, I think it was 2 seasons ago, maybe in last season, you don't believe that he can be a serviceable guy that can step up and keep the Packers afloat while Love is out?
Not today. I don't. I think if this happened in November, I might have a different answer. I don't think this is Malik Willis's fault either. I think he's extremely talented. If you watch some of the stuff he did, not just at Liberty, but some of the things he did with the Titans in preseason and what have you, he's a talented guy now. Let's not make it sound like he's not. The issue is he has been in the league for 2 years and an off season and a training camp and 1 regular season game. He's been in 4 offenses. This is his 4th offensive system. And for a guy to go through that, I don't know how effectively you can be ready for anything when you go through that much change. But again, he got caught up in a regime change, a group that did not want him to be their quarterback after the previous general manager drafted him in Tennessee. I would love to see if you told me, Jason, Jordan Love has to get hurt. It's predestined by the football gods. He's going to miss 4 games. My negotiation with you, if I had been the Packers, would have been, okay, can it be in November, not in the first game? Because I don't think that we can just dismiss whether or not Malik Willis is up to the task. I just have a hard time believing he's up to the task today, given he will. Here's the amazing thing. If he starts on Sunday, he will have been with the Packers for 20 days, not even 3 weeks. That is not a great situation to try and be successful in, but this will be a great test of Matt LaFleur and his ability to design an offense that will effectively highlight his skill set and allow them to function with a guy who does not have a lot of experience in the system.
And this is very different than a Jacoby Brissett, right? Like a guy who you could get for $8 million, who may not have the upside long term, but who you know is a veteran player who can come in and start. So even if Willis turns out to be a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL, that's likely a few years from now, right? To develop him in a system to be able to do that. And it's not like he would be starting for the Packers unless there was an extended injury. So it just, I don't know, the whole concept seems a little flawed. But Jason, let's get into the game a little bit. And I know the field was a big talk of the game, but to me, it was about the second and third drives of the game. There was the opportunity to go up 14-0, to put a team down who finished last year getting blown out in a bunch of games. It just felt like that was, to me, more than any other place in the game where this game was lost.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I heard you guys talking about it earlier, and I think that's exactly what happened. Now, again, the other team gets paid too, and they did some pretty good things defensively to make it hard for them and make them settle for field goals to be up 6-0 instead of 14-0. And the Packers had their mistakes too, right? I mean, the interception Love throws, I don't know if that's is one of the things that if Jordan hadn't gotten hurt, I know people would have asked him in Sao Paulo. Like, I think he's expecting Luke Musgrave to turn a little differently on that route, and so maybe that he actually threw it to where it was supposed to be, but Musgrave wasn't there. I'd like to ask him that if and when we get to talk to him sometime soon. But they had their own mistakes, right? They had a ton of penalties. They had 5 penalties in the first quarter alone. Like, it wasn't just the Eagles that stopped them on those 2 drives where they settled for field goals. The Packers had a lot to do with stopping themselves. So I would think that...
And Jason, when you're saying the Packers stopped themselves, you're saying it was the Packers, you're not blaming the referees at all. You think all of it was self-inflicted.
Well, they both had 12. I've never seen that before, where both teams have 12 men on the field at the same time. But, you know, it wipes out a 38-yard touchdown, right? I mean, look, this is what happens in the NFL in 2024 when nobody plays their starters throughout preseason. And again, I don't have a problem with that because I don't want to lose someone to an injury in a game that doesn't count. And I was in Pittsburgh for Jordy Nelson, which wrecked the season. That said, you better be willing to put up with some sloppy play. And, you know, LaFleur's line about them in the red zone, we got destroyed in the red zone was the phrase he used. You know, that he wasn't wrong. That was exactly what happened to them.
Yeah, and you mentioned LaFleur earlier, and I actually just want to go back to it again. He seems like one of these play callers, and maybe they're all like this, that this opportunity and challenge without Jordan Love is going to just open him up for everything, right? Like, so I don't think, like, even if we don't love the quarterback situation, can't we believe that the Packers, based on the depth of weapons they have, like, that this isn't like, okay, you know, they don't have a backup quarterback, so their offense is just going to suck for the next 3 weeks. Like, can we believe enough in Matt LaFleur and these weapons that this can be a competitive offense?
I think we can. Now, he has to do it, right? Like, we can talk till the cows come home about what a great offensive mind he is and how many weapons whoever's playing quarterback has at their disposal. But the bottom line is it's still hard to scheme things up with a guy that you barely know. And that's where they're at with Malik Willis. Now,
well, whether it's Willis or Clifford, you're looking at maybe the easiest 3-game stretch of the schedule the entire season, right? If you had to pick a 3 games to go at it without Jordan Love, I feel like these upcoming 3 games are the 3 games you'd want.
Yeah, I think I would have liked these 3 games, but in November. But yes, I think they're in a good spot. I mean,
right? Colts, Titans, and Vikings. I mean,
yeah, he's going to get to go against his old team if he's the starter. I'm really curious because they did, and I don't know if this was just subterfuge or if they were, in fact, unsure of whether or not Malik Willis was going to be ready. But LaFleur said repeatedly during the course of the week that they were not picking the backup quarterback until the end of the week. That Willis and Clifford were competing for the backup job in the game. And now, in fairness, the general manager, after he made the trade for Malik Willis, said, we think he'll be ready for the opener. So maybe there was some subterfuge there, or maybe the coach didn't feel as strongly as the general manager that he would be ready. But I don't know how you don't at least consider the idea that Sean Clifford is better equipped to play in this game than Malik Willis is, but I don't think you trade for a guy and then you have the practice squad guy who your general manager, and I quote, said there was some uninspiring performances, underwhelming performances during training camp from him and from the other competitor for the quarterback job.
Hey, we'll have more with Jason Wilde. So much to take in. We'll get your take on the defense as we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Add a little inspiration and education to your classroom. Junior Achievement of Wisconsin is looking to connect with teachers, school administrators, parents, or even grandparents to bring our hands-on learning programs in financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship to your school. Learn how we can help set your students up for success. Visit wisconsin.ja.org to connect. Junior Achievement, inspiring, preparing, succeeding.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Whether you're about to graduate high school or have been in the workforce for years, it's time to take control of your future. Welcome to Lakeland University, where you call the shots. We use our flexible learning formats to customize your degree path. In person, online, and virtual classes are all available. Lakeland University is designed around you, your goals, your schedule, your future. You can even earn up to 25% of your degree via paid work experiences. Ready to take control of your future? Let us customize an education to fit your needs. Visit lakeland.edu/ESPN to learn more.
There's a good chance you're on a budget. We all are. But she wants a diamond. You know it. I know it. And Robert Hack Diamonds knows it too, because they offer a huge collection of lab-grown diamonds, and they sell them at crazy prices. How about 2-carat total weight diamond studs for $8.95? Robert Hack Diamonds can get any size, shape, or clarity in natural or lab-grown diamonds. Don't buy until you call Robert Hack Diamonds. $8.95 for a 2-carat pair of diamond studs. Oh, baby! Robert Hack Diamonds in Greenfield and in Brookfield. Why overspend when you can save at Robert Hack Diamonds for the same diamond you're looking for? Some jewelers are charging nearly $5,000 for a lab-grown diamond. Not Robert Hack. Your visit will be worth it, and she'll think so too. Robert Hack also offers repair services and cash for your old gold. But remember, before you do anything, as I did, RobertHackDiamonds.com, and visit them in Brookfield or in Greenfield.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
I walk around with a bitch stick. It gon' make a buddy do a backflip. 100 round drum on me. Hit his ass up, have his mama throw a feed. Say you want smoke, push.
Jason Wilde is brought to you by Boucher Automotive, where we ride with you every mile. 18 dealerships, 15 brands, and thousands of vehicles in stock. Check them out at Boucher.com.
Make you sweat like a drummer. Banging the same like one kind. And I never run unless you sweat on the front line. Better keep they little pistols, you know that I got mine. My son every day, if I lead it, I'm not done. In my hood, I'm connected and good like.
Continue with Jason Wilde. And Jason, my take on this is you're playing a prolific offense. You're going to give up a bunch of yards. You're going to give up a bunch of points. But what we were looking for was some game-changing plays, and the defense actually made it. And I don't know, to me, I was okay with week one for a new defensive system and that performance, given the field, given the opponent, given everything. I wasn't down on week one from a defense standpoint.
I wasn't either until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Because, look, I don't care if you're Joe Barry or Mike Pettin or Don Capers or Fritz Shermer or Jeff Hafley. Your guys got to get off the field there. And to allow the opponent to chew up 7.5 minutes of clock for them to go 16 plays, 67 yards, and then kick a 21-yard field goal, you prevented your team from having a chance to win the game. I mean, I understand they got 27 whole seconds or 22 after.
And by the way, Jair almost, right? Jason Jair almost pulled off a second pick, right?
Yeah.
After it looked like A.J. Brown was dominating him throughout the game, he ended up, at least being competitive and almost on that last drive, A.J. Brown actually made a pretty good play to prevent another interception there.
Yeah, he broke it up, exactly. But look, you can't have that happen. And I think Jeff Hafley, when we talked to him this week, will say the same thing. But I agree with you that for much of the game against, let's consider the quality of the opponent here, right? That is an offense that has all kinds of talent. I understand their downward trend during the second half of last season. That's a totally fair critique. But the bottom line is there's a hell of a lot of talent on that offense. And they obviously missed Jason Kelsey. There are all kinds of issues with the new center and a premature snap and the fumbled exchange. But the bottom line is that's a really good group. And when you have that much talent on offense, even if you're a good defense, you're going to give up, like you said. So I thought until they got to the fourth quarter, if they find a way to get off the field, even if they hold them to a field goal, but it's a 53-yard field goal and there's still 4 or 5 minutes left on the clock, I feel a lot differently about them. But you cannot allow your opponent to do that. And I think Jeff Hafley would agree with me.
Yeah, I was actually a little surprised, and maybe I shouldn't have been, because it would have kept the field goal in play, that the Eagles kicked that field goal. Because I actually thought it may have been, they may have chosen, and doesn't matter ultimately, but they may have chosen to go for it, try to score there, and then the Packers would, if they stopped them, would still have had the whole field to go. So
they'd have been they'd had to go 99 yards.
Yeah,
or
but
whatever they needed.
But I guess they could have kicked the field goal then, which
Correct.
So let's go to the field goal, which is why I was going there. Another missed field goal, a doink. Is this? Are we as concerned as we were at this time last week, the week before in the playoffs? Or is there something we've seen to make us feel a little better about the kicking situation?
Yeah, I don't know how you can look at it and not say the same things that you said about Anders Carlson, but because it's someone different, maybe you give him a little bit of a pass, right? Because the issue with Anders Carlson was that he basically would make all of his kicks in a game except one, and you were just waiting for that one that he was going to miss. 10 out of the last 12 games of the season last year, including the playoffs, he missed at least one kick. And that's what Braden Narveson did. Now, it's a little unfair. He's got one game as a Packer, so let's see if he makes all of his kicks on Sunday against the Colts. But it's not the result isn't different. And remember,
and we can't blame the field on that, Jason, because I made my bold prediction that he wasn't going to miss a kick for the first 10 weeks of the season on Wilde and Tausch. Can I hold on to the fact that like it doesn't count because of the field, or is that not a fair excuse?
No, you're out. Yeah, you're out.
Right.
But the only person that I really want to make sure gets their bold prediction wrong is Domofsky, who said he thinks he'll someday die in a plane crash. That changed the tenor of our program a little bit when he did that. But look, I don't know how good Braden Narvison's going to be, and I think it's probably unfair to look at his one miss and say, oh, here we go again, it's Anders 2.0. But that was a big miss. I mean, they're in a position where when the Eagles are driving and eating up all that clock at the end, if he makes the kick, the Packers have a 1-point lead, do they not? Aren't they down 2 at that point? So I don't know if they've gotten it right here, but what I'm really interested to see is just how much rope Goody's going to give him, because Goody, and not only did he admit that he's impatient with specialists, he used the phrase "a short leash" after they moved on from both kickers from camp and brought in Narvison.
Yeah, Jason, I guess any players who jumped out at you more than you thought they would in week 1? Because to me, it felt like a lot of what we thought, right? Jacobs took a little while, but eventually got going. Jayden Reed, who I predicted would be double-digit touchdowns, looked good, but as did Dobbs. Watson wasn't big, but had the touchdown. Anyone offensively or defensively where you were like, wow, I didn't expect that from him week 1.
I like that you're calling back to all your predictions, good and bad. Earlier you were, I was big on Love last year. Now you've got you were wrong about the kicker, but you were right about Jayden Reed.
Hey, I was right about. Let's go. I was right about the takeaways. I gave you that one also on Wilde and Tausch.
You did. That's very fair. So look, I think Jayden Reed is who we thought he was last year. So yes, that confirmed that. I do think that Christian Watson, the fact that he got through the game healthy, that he caught a touchdown, that he's in the mix, I think that's incredibly encouraging. He said he wants to play all 17 games, and while my natural reaction is I'll believe it when I see it, he's off to a good start. So let's see if he can do it for 16 more. To me, the guy that I was most interested in was Xavier McKinney. I wanted to see if kind of the hype, which I had been part of delivering, if he lived up to that. And it sure looks like from that perspective, and again, I'm still working my way through the game in terms of NFL Plus, but I thought that he's not Nick Collins yet. He's certainly not Charles Woodson yet, but he is definitely an upgrade, and so is Javon Bullard. I think they feel really good about where the arrow is pointing with their safeties.
Yep. And no, Keyshawn Nixon or Quay Walker or anyone else is like, wow, they're breakthrough. Like, there's no one else we should get overly excited about coming off week 1.
I don't think so, but you mentioned, Josh Jacobs, and at the start of the game, I got a text from Sylvie saying your team's really going to miss Aaron Jones. I did not hear back from him again later in the game. So, I think
typical Chicago guy.
Yeah, fair. But look, it's one game. The good, the bad, the ugly is it's only one game, but I'm really eager to see whoever they end up having play quarterback. I'm really eager to see how effectively LaFleur can come up with different schemes that work for Malik Willis and how effectively he can get the football to all these talented guys, because even without Jordan Love, like we said at the very beginning, or like you said at the very beginning, they do have a heck of a lot of talent, and whoever's got to be playing quarterback has to figure out a way to get the ball to them.
Okay, so wait, last thing. Jason, you're saying Malik Willis, so you feel good about saying that he will be the starter next week?
Yeah, I'm not. I definitely don't know that.
Okay.
My issue is it's really hard to say, all right, we acquired you to be our backup, and we think you've got all this ability and potential, but now that we actually have to have you be our backup, we don't think you're up to being our backup. So I think that's hard to,
especially
that's an unlikely scenario.
I mean, especially like you said, it was a last second decision. If he had been the third quarterback or inactive week 1.
Correct.
Then you
Yes.
could have done that, but I agree. That would be tough. Now, Jason Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon at Jason J. Wilde on X. Thanks so much, Jason.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
There he is, Jason Wilde. We have our 7 at 11 coming up next. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Save big money on your roofing project now at Menards. We have an unbeatable selection of Atlas shingles. Castlebrook, Briarwood, and Pinnacle all feature a limited lifetime warranty and up to 130 miles per hour wind warranty. Choose from 20 styles in stock, ready to take home today. Stop in to shop our wide selection of roofing products or visit Menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. It's racing season at the legendary Great Lakes Dragaway, and our schedule of events is ready. We've still got our yearly holiday weekend races like Labor Day weekend, plus Nitrous Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, and Night of Fire. You can also book corporate and private events. Take advantage of our season-long passes and even schedule a time to take your car down the legendary quarter mile. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for pricing and info. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Me too.
She absolutely nailed it.
Are you talking about Jenny Sambeline? Yeah, Jenny and her pendant, the music in a mother's heart.
Hi, Rick. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Monica. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
Jenny, we're going to produce your pendant design as a limited edition collector's item and put a few of them in all of our 8 Kessler stores.
Congratulations, Jenny.
Wow, this is huge.
Jenny, we expect the music in a mother's heart to sell out very quickly.
We'll also make a few available online.
I designed that pendant from the memory of how my mother made me feel when we'd sing together.
How often did that happen?
Constantly. We'd sing along with whatever was playing on the radio, or sometimes we would watch a musical on TV and sing along with that.
At just $124, the music in a mother's heart is going to sell out lightning fast.
I'm buying one.
I'm buying one. I bought the prototype the moment I saw it.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Aside from a house or a car specifically, what is the most expensive thing you own? Wendy?
A car.
Name an animal with 3 letters in its name.
Alligator. Name something that's better than being rich.
4. Besides a bird, something in a bird cage.
Hamster.
Something that comes with a summer storm.
Snow.
Something Russia's famous for, Bob.
Russians.
Something a burglar would not want to see when he breaks into a house. Rob!
Naked grandma!
Reason you might stay indoors on a beautiful day.
Because it's raining?
Name something you might buy that could turn out to be phony.
Yeah, a horse.
Name a time that most people get up.
In the morning.
A time most people go to bed.
At night.
This is the 7 at 11 on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin.
Well, Kyle, it's my time to guess, but I got to just bring up first the Tyreek Hill situation that happened this morning. We compared it to the Scotty Scheffler situation that happened in Louisville before the PGA Championship. And Tyreek Hill, it was reported he was arrested. We know he was detained, but it was reported and has been reported that he was arrested and then released. But we know he was handcuffed. Also, have you seen the video where he is chest down on the concrete in Florida there?
I did see he was chest down. I sure did.
That is a pretty, again, I said, knowing Tyreek Hill the way from afar, been able to watch him, I have a sense that in some ways he will elevate this week if it's at all possible. But that is a traumatic traumatic thing that, may not sink in this week for him and maybe something that doesn't hit him until later on. But I mean, that was a real scene that happened outside of Hard Rock Casino Stadium out there in Miami of Tyreek Hill being arrested after a driving violation. He was stopped for speeding and got into a verbal altercation with the police there in Miami. So that is what they're calling it now, that it was speeding as he was going into the game.
Yeah, therapy is real. Make sure you have a partner you can talk to and make sure you have therapy because traumatic situations like that happen all the time. So if you need some, definitely hit up the team.
All right, it's time for our 7 at 11. You're asking, I'm answering.
Yes. So this 7 at 11 has two inspirations. One of the inspirations is John Anderson. John Anderson, formerly of SportsCenter of ESPN. He joins KBN every Tuesday, I believe, and he joined us on Thursday this week. But every Tuesday he joins us to talk football. Now, something us and John talked about was the fact of quarterbacks. And if, we had to deal with some of these quarterbacks of the past, he started rattling off random names of former Packers and different quarterbacks. I had no idea who he was talking about.
Yep.
So with Jordan Love being injured and the Green Bay Packers looking to probably lean on Malik Willis, I want to know who are the top 7 franchise leaders in touchdown passes in Green Bay Packer history.
So just all-time Packers touchdown leaders?
All-time Packers touchdown leaders.
All right, I'll go with Brett Favre.
Brett Favre is number 2 on that list, as he is number 2 with 442 total touchdowns.
I will go with Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is number 1 on that list with 475 touchdowns.
I forgot about that.
You're cooking. You're cooking right now.
Yeah, right. But I forgot about that. That Rodgers passed Favre in touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers.
I know. I guess it makes sense. But yeah, that's impressive. Let's go with Bart Starr.
Bart Starr, surprisingly, is number 3 on this list.
Why is it surprising?
That's a lot of touchdown passes for the 1950s and 60s
on now.
and 70s. Or 60s, really. Bart Starr with 152 touchdown passes, which is almost 300 less than where number 2, Brett Favre, was. So you have number 1 in Aaron Rodgers. You have number 2 in Brett Favre. You have number 3 in Bart Starr. Craig, let's see what you got.
Obviously I didn't live here, but there's a few that would seemingly be obvious, which would be Lynn Dickey.
Lynn Dickey is number 4. You're cooking, Craig. Lynn Dickey, number 4, with 133 total touchdown passes.
So the next one seems obvious, but he started for such a short time that I think I could be wrong, but my next obvious answer to me is Don Majkowski.
Don Majkowski on this list is number 8.
Oh,
with
no.
56 total touchdown passes as a Green Bay Packer.
Come on now. Then you're talking about guys from a long time ago.
Yeah, I would say so. Somebody on here was born in 1928.
That is a long time ago. All right, that opens it up. And
the Magic Man, who everybody loves, not in the top 7.
I mean, but he didn't start very long, so I knew that was going to be a challenge.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know the next 3 names. Never heard of them.
Well, one of them.
Never heard of them.
One of them's son was a big time sports guy here in Wisconsin for a while.
Never heard of him.
He was a TV guy, I think, in New York, and then he was in Milwaukee for a while. That opens it up for you. 800-990-ESPN. It's 800-990-3776. Give us a call. Who has the most career touchdown passes in Packers history? We are talking. I mean, this was a ridiculous question.
No, well, I'm very curious because for me as a Packers fan,
numbers 5, 6, and 7. As I said,
this is for real Packers fans.
It is.
This is for real because I don't know these guys. I can admit that. I have no idea.
If you know this, you are a real one, or you're looking it up and you're cheating. 800-990-ESPN. It is 800-990-3776. Speaking of cheating, I know you had accused Chef Ed of doing some cheating. So at some point, we're going to have Chef Ed in studio to see how he does in the 7 at 11 when we know he's not cheating, which you, Kyle, accused him of.
I sure did.
Let's talk to David, who's a machine operator. You're on Sunday Karma. Morning, David.
Hey, good morning. Could you guys reset the list?
Absolutely, I can definitely reset the list. So we are looking for the 7 touchdown passing career leaders for the Green Bay Packers. Craig, you want to run through 1 through 4?
Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Bart Starr, and Lynn Dickey guessed correctly. Don Mikowski guessed incorrectly.
Robin Rote?
That is very close, but I think we got to say it's incorrect. Thanks for the call. He got really close with Robin Tote. He got very close there. Tim is on Sunday Karma. Morning, Tim.
Did somebody say Tobin Rote?
There it is. Tobin Rote. That is number 5.
Now,
well done.
Wait. Okay, so Tim's retired. Who is this Tobin Rote?
He was. I just know that was Rock Rote's dad, right? Rock Rote, who was the TV guy, Tim?
I think he also played for the Giants.
Yep. Yeah, because he and Rock Rote was growing up for me. He was in New York, and then when I moved to Wisconsin, he ended up here in Milwaukee.
The Packers and Chargers he played for.
Tobin Rote, number 5. You have any other guesses for us?
Arnie Herber.
Arnie Herber is correct. I do not know who that is.
Who is Arnie Herber, born in 1910? How do you know about our old Arnie, Tim?
I took a course online for Packer history.
That is unbelievable. Only Packers fans do that. That just moved Packer fans up a notch in my mind that you're doing that. All right, do you have a guess at our final answer here?
Yeah, I'll say one other one. His name was interesting because he actually was alive when everyone went into the Hall of Fame. Cal Hubbard?
He is not correct. Thanks for the call, Tim, but great job knocking out those first few. That was impressive that he got Arnie Herber, who I never heard of. So we have Lynn Dickey, Tobin Rote, Arnie Herber.
Can we give the numbers really quickly? How many touchdown passes?
Arnie Herber has 66 touchdowns.
66 touchdown passes.
I mean, it means that Jordan Love, by the way, is number 9 on this list. Jordan Love's about to break into the top 7 of all-time Packer quarterback touchdowns. We are missing just one player on this list, and we haven't heard from this guy in a while. It is the honest one, Honest Mike. You're on Sunday Karma. Good to hear from you, Mike.
Yeah, morning, boys. This is it Randy Wright?
Is it Randy Wright, who's 31 touchdowns put him at number 10 on this list?
Can we just get really quickly, Mike and Madison, surprising he got it wrong. But can we just talk about Randy Wright played at Wisconsin?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can we talk about number 10 on the list has 31 touchdown passes. 31. This is a season. Jordan Love had 32 touchdown passes this year, and number 10 on the Packers all-time.
Well, that shows just the continuity, right? That in the passing era of the NFL, it's been so dominated by 2 players. So that makes sense. Thanks for the call, Mike, and great to hear from you.
Yep.
The number 7, by the way, shares the same birthday as me, except he was born in 1915. So he was born the same day as me, just 60 years before me. That is who our last answer is on this list, which I know I didn't know this name went back that far. The first name, a little surprising.
I mean, that sounds like an old school name, don't it?
It does?
Yeah.
I thought it was more of a brother name.
It is a brother name. But
I didn't think there were brothers in the league back then.
That's what I actually thought the same thing. I said, this sounds like a brother, but I doubt it was based off the quarterback position. But you never, I
don't think there were any brothers in the league, much less quarterbacks.
You name people how you know the names,
Kevin, the bartender, you're on Sunday Karma. Kevin, you have our 7th.
Well, I might. I'm going to go with Lamar McCann.
Lamar McCann, who I do not know who that is.
He's number 24.
Oh, there he is.
And he has 11 touchdown passes.
That is a great poll.
I don't know who that is.
1963.
He shared playing time with Bart Starr when Bart Starr was young.
Nicely done, Kevin. All right.
He didn't share throwing touchdown passes with him, tell you that much.
Well, he did. He got 11, which is impressive.
I guess 11 is impressive back then. They were like running the ball nonstop.
Yeah, that is wild. The guy who's last on this list, we are not going to get, and I don't want to waste too much time on it.
You never know.
His initials are CI. CI. I'll give you his initials. His initials are CI. And he was playing in, let's see what years. He was playing in the late 30s and early 40s.
So Tim retired is calling back.
All right.
And, Tim may be, I don't know how old Tim is, but he's retired, so I'm assuming he's 65.
Let Tim help knock this guy out because he took the class. What's up, Tim?
Isabel.
Hey!
Yes!
Isabel.
Now, what do you know about old Cecil Isabel?
Well, his wife was on a lot of the videos I watched.
That is impressive.
Did they have film of him running around in black and white or no? Is that too old?
Oh, yeah, they did. They did.
Was he good?
He was good. Yeah, comparatively. I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson, but he was a good, and it was, and I think he actually might even talked on a video or two, but he was in his 60s or 70s at that time.
Well, and he played in 3 different postseason years, which back then to make the playoffs you had to have pretty much won the league, I think, right? So the fact that he was
it 29, 30, and 31?
No, 38, 39, and 41.
Oh yeah, so during the World War II years, basically.
Yeah.
What was going on over in Europe?
Yeah.
I'm a history fan in general.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Tim. Tim helping us out.
Well, we just took a Packers history class and lesson here. I'm excited.
Yeah, let's just go your best Cecil Isabel memories. 800-990-ESPN. It's 800-990-3776. That's what we're talking. No, maybe we're not. We are going to get back into the NFL as the inactives are out. T. Higgins, probably your biggest inactive today, along with Russell Wilson, which we shared earlier. Justin Fields will be starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jamar Chase will be active for the Cincinnati Bengals. Really interesting to see what you get out of him. Interesting to see what you get out of Tyreek Hill, who is active after being detained by police on his way to the Miami Dolphins game at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. This week, Dak Prescott has signed the largest contract in the history of the NFL. So a lot going on in week 1 of the NFL season. We'll continue to talk about it with you as we roll on. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and Cola, refreshing Bacardi Lime and Soda, or a smooth spiced and Cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume.
There's a good chance you're on a budget. We all are. But she wants a diamond. You know it. I know it. And Robert Hack Diamonds knows it too, because they offer a huge collection of lab-grown diamonds, and they sell them at crazy prices. How about 2-carat total weight diamond studs for $8.95? Robert Hack Diamonds can get any size, shape, or clarity in natural or lab-grown diamonds. Don't buy until you call Robert Hack Diamonds. $8.95 for a 2-carat pair of diamond studs. Oh, baby! Robert Hack Diamonds Diamonds in Greenfield and in Brookfield. Why overspend when you can save at Robert Hack Diamonds for the same diamond you're looking for? Some jewelers are charging nearly $5,000 for a lab-grown diamond. Not Robert Hack. Your visit will be worth it, and she'll think so too. Robert Hack also offers repair services and cash for your old gold. But remember, before you do anything, as I did, RobertHackDiamonds.com, and visit them in Brookfield or in Greenfield.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
I'm talking with Dr. Chris Killian. Doctor, if someone starts to feel pain, what are the first things that they need to do?
Certainly resting it. Ice can be helpful, anti-inflammatories.
So let's say none of that works and someone is looking for that next step to relieve their pain. Just because someone steps into your office, that does not automatically mean that that next step is a surgical procedure. Is that right?
We still kind of treat surgery as kind of a last option once you've exhausted conservative management. So those conservative treatments, again, being rest, ice. If it's your shoulder we're talking about, going through a period where maybe a short period of immobilization. And then the mainstay is physical therapy. We have physical therapists here specifically at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin that work with us and train with us that allow a vast majority of people to actually avoid surgery altogether, depending on what their issue is.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Hey Wisconsin, it's construction season and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
I'm Ben Jewick with Coakley Brothers and Brothers Interiors. The crew is winning ball games here in Milwaukee and around the country. Our team stands ready to help your organization win across North America. Powered by Coakley Connect, our revolutionary facilities management platform. The Coakley crew supports clients across the country manage their real estate portfolio, offering facility-focused products and services, interior design, construction, new furniture, installation, and move management. We'll help you create and manage interior environments that drive your teams forward. Visit CoakleyBrothers.com and hit a home run.
Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's that slim, thick, crumble skin, 5'5", to 10, hair done, bills paid, catch me sliding in a bin. I ain't looking for no man, I ain't recruiting no new friends, but we bad.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I'm mad at you, Kyle.
Why is that?
You're like telling me in meetings that like your dream is to throw out the first pitch at a Brewers game and all that.
It is, Craig. I've always wanted to do it since, remember that TV show ESPN had where people, and I think Greg Matzik was on it, where people went around to different stadiums to do stuff.
Yeah.
I always wanted to throw out the first pitch because I feel like they came to, at that time, a different name for the park, now AmFam Field. They got to throw out the first pitch, and I was jealous. I always wanted to do it.
Well, you don't even, I feel like you've been like, not even like on the Brewers this year.
Stop it. We just got our goodie bag, the Jackson Churio. I can go. The Jackson Churio bobblehead is right here behind me. I'm going to put it on camera. We just got our goodie bag. I think they had the Freddie Peralta soccer jersey they gave out.
Freddie Peralta starting today against the Rockies.
They must be giving the jersey out today, potentially. Yeah, I'm excited. I love the Brewers. And, unfortunately, though, the Packers did take all the attention on Friday.
Packers took the oxygen, but the Brewers got back to their winning ways yesterday, which was a big win. It was also a big win because the Phillies finally lost, who the Phillies had been going crazy. So Brewers get within 3 games of both the Phillies and the Dodgers for the best record in the National League. The Brewers still have the best run differential at plus 137 in all of Major League Baseball. Kyle showing it off for everyone watching right now, showing off the gear that the Brewers sent. Kyle, best run differential in all of Major League Baseball as the Brewers get ready to beat up on the Rockies today.
Yeah.
Then tough little trip out west at the Giants, should be, grab 2 out of 3 there. Then at the Diamondbacks, who have been really good over the second half of the season. Diamondbacks have struggled a little this week. And then the Brewers back home for the Phillies for 3, the Diamondbacks for 4. So, interesting stretch of the season that ends up finishing with the Brewers hosting the Mets for 3, who are the hottest team in all of baseball, as the Mets have rattled off 9 straight wins to put themselves in position for the playoffs and to pretty much knock the Cubs out of position for the playoffs, which we were talking about at this time last week as a possibility. That is...
Don't say we, you.
As a possibility.
You brought that nonsense.
I brought it up as a possibility.
That nonsense.
The Brewers will be in the playoffs. The Cubs will not be in the playoffs. And the Brewers will, in fact, win the National League Central. The question is, can they catch either the Phillies or the Dodgers, who both lead them by 3 games? But, all right, just wanted to...
That's exciting stuff, though. It really is going to... literally next week is when everybody's going to really start watching.
All right, wait, real quick.
Yeah.
You going to root for the Cubs the next 3 days?
No, I don't root for the Cubs.
Okay. So they're playing the Dodgers.
You got
No, I'm just saying they're playing the Dodgers.
I'm only focused on we.
Okay, so you're not trying to get the Brewers into the bye, to win and
the bye doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't. I just, it just guarantees that you don't have to play in the potential wild
card round, which is a big deal.
It is a big deal, but I'm just saying you got to focus on us winning. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yep. All right. So back to the NFL and back to what has been a wild day today. As we said, Dak Prescott agrees to a contract now higher paid than Jordan Love, which each contract that's going to happen. Jamar Chase active, T. Higgins not. Tyreek Hill active, despite having the incident this morning where he was arrested face down from Miami police. The Wisconsin Badgers won a game yesterday against an FCS opponent where I have to admit, I went to walk the dogs when it was like, I don't know if it was 17-3 or whatever, and I came back, it was like 17-13. I mean, it got a little more interesting and stayed a 1-score game for a while there, Kyle. As we lead into an Alabama game next week, how are you feeling as he puts on is that a Brewers jersey? Is that a Brewers?
It's a Brewers
denim jersey?
Country denim jacket. Woo-wee, cowboy me up.
Cowboy Kyle.
Cowboy, like Cowboy Carter, like Beyonce, call me Cowboy Kyle. I like that. The Brewers are giving this out coming up too as well.
Yeah, you got some denim Brewers gear going on.
I love it.
So, Kyle, the Badgers are going to be hosting the Alabama Crimson Tide next week.
Yes.
I watched that game yesterday, and I was like, I don't know how they stay within 3 touchdowns of Alabama. But I looked at the spread yesterday. It was a 9.5-point spread for Alabama.
Yeah.
So maybe the belief is the Badgers do have a chance.
Yeah, the Badgers are it's tough for me right now because the fact that I really feel like the Wisconsin Badgers, I would prefer to watch them win games like this running the old offense versus running the current offense. But when it comes to Alabama.
And when you say the old offense, you're saying like if they were just running people over,
yes.
And
it's more because there's so much frustration because yet we haven't been able to. I don't think there's been a complete game this offense has ever played, and I'm dead serious when I say this. A complete game where this offense looked exactly what we expected it to look like, and so overall, I would prefer to see us play action fake and hit dink and dunk downfield and watch Braylon Allen or Jonathan Taylor or Melvin Gordon run up and down for 200 yards on people versus it just kind of seeming disjointed. But when we talk about Alabama next week. Alabama played USF yesterday, and USF was able to hang with them early on in the first half, and then they took off in the second half. And I believe the Wisconsin Badgers are better than USF. And even though Alabama was able to take off, I do believe that Wisconsin, if they can follow that formula, is a better overall football team, utilizing Tyler Van Dyke's ability to run the ball, move the chains, control the clock. That's what you got to do. You got to control the clock against Alabama. And what the Packers didn't do, you had to capitalize when you get a chance in the red zone. I think they can keep it within 9. I definitely think they can keep it within 9, but it's going to be tough.
I mean, but that means they can you think they have a chance to win the game?
I think.
I mean, because at that point, it's a one-score game. Which, if it's on your campus in college football, you then have a chance to win the game. The matchup predictor from ESPN has Alabama at a 92.1% chance to win the game. Badgers a 7.9%.
I think the biggest issue is that we're going to struggle. Still yesterday, something that we saw against South Dakota. Explosive plays. Big plays, right? And what Alabama has is explosive players in Green Bay Packers. The Wisconsin Badgers struggle to slow down explosive plays. That's why you're going to lose the ball game on Saturday, because you're not going to be able to slow down those explosive plays. So I'm hopeful. You never know what can happen any given Saturday, Craig. So I'm hopeful that the Badgers can pull off the upset, but I'm not optimistic.
11 a.m. kickoff, Camp Randall Stadium next week. Pretty cool, though, regardless.
I've been waiting for this game for 5 years.
I was going to say, with the expanded Big Ten, they have all these other interesting matchups, and then you get the cream of the crop of the SEC coming to Camp Randall early season for a game like this, which I don't know that the Badgers' first 2 weeks were great to get them ready for this game. I feel like Alabama.
Yesterday was a joke. I'm just going to be honest. Yesterday, struggling with South Dakota is concerning and worrisome.
I guess that's what I'm saying is maybe South Florida was a little better tune-up for Alabama than the Badgers had, having South Dakota as a tune-up. Just if you're trying to prepare for the speed of Alabama, South Dakota's a really good team at their level. They're a really good team.
Yeah, but they're not even the top team, though.
No. But they're a really good FCS team. But the difference usually between teams like that and Division I teams is ultimately athleticism, right? And the difference between the SEC and the top teams in the SEC are athleticism. So it probably wasn't the best team to give you a feel for what it's going to be like. So I think this is going to be a really...
Are you losing faith in Luke Fickell and this Wisconsin football team and offense and where they're trying to go? Are you? I mean, obviously you're not going to say it's over, but are you a little bit stunned that it just hasn't looked pretty, like at all?
I am surprised it hasn't looked prettier. Yes, offensively, it doesn't mean I'm losing hope. But if you had asked me going into last year, I think you and I both thought the offense was we were like, wow, we are going to be like all these other teams now. Like, we were like, oh, now we're going to be like these wild spread offenses of these, not just the SEC or teams like that, but like, seemed like when the Big 12 was like doing their thing, all these teams were putting up these big numbers.
Yeah, excited. Like, they, even against teams like
and
South
wide
Dakota,
receivers were transferring to Wisconsin. It was like, it's on.
And the thing is that this offense, dink and dunk and move and take big shots when you can, is the tempo of the offense doesn't even seem like a fast tempo, right? Like, how many times has the Wisconsin Badgers ever had a 3-play drive for 75 yards because they hit it big? They have it. And here, this is the upsetting thing.
I mean, yesterday they had an early touchdown, but again, it's not against a non-Division I team.
I'm following Michigan State more this year, and what upset me the most is that Michigan State had an 11-second play drive where they hit a big play for 77 yards, and I'm like, I want this in a Big Ten matchup for Wisconsin, but we just have not gotten it. That's the frustrating thing, is I'm watching a lesser team in Michigan State be able to have a big explosive play against Maryland. Meanwhile, against South Dakota, we're struggling to have big explosive plays, multiple in a game.
I guess my answer is I've not lost faith, and I think that how they respond to these next two games is going to be really interesting, because I don't know that I'm going to evaluate this team based on if they're able to win against Alabama or at USC. I just don't know that. Unfortunately, I don't think we even see this program in the same sentence as those teams, right?
So it's unfortunate.
So it's not, to me, if they beat either of those teams, it's how they respond to those teams, right? Because we saw Oregon last night, or Oregon. Which one did we? Which one?
Oregon.
Oregon. We saw Oregon last night struggle with Boise, who's a really good team. Really good team. But the Badgers should be at the level of Boise, right?
Come on. Did you hear what you just... The Badgers at the level of Boise. They surpassed Boise.
I'm saying, but at Oregon, Boise had that game pretty much won late. They gave up a kick return, and then they kicked a field goal to lose. So I'm saying when number 7 Oregon comes to Wisconsin, by the end of this season, the Badgers should be competitive in that game.
They should be. And that is the disappointing thing is that we're talking about should be. I want the old
Badgers
Wisconsin
should be able to go to Iowa and win because Iowa State just did that yesterday.
Exactly, and
that's what I'm saying.
That's what we should be, and that's the expectation is that, yes, we're playing Alabama, but we're excited. See, when that got on the schedule, I was excited for the fact that we get the matchup against one of the best programs in the country. USC comes, I feel like we should be able to beat USC, not just say, well, you'll see. No, I want to have the same confidence I used to have.
I know, and again, Badgers beat LSU at Lambeau Field, right? And that was a hyped-up LSU team, too. It wasn't like a down team. But I just don't feel like watching that game yesterday, it's fair to think they could beat Alabama or USC. But can they respond, play well enough, be competitive in those games, then beat Purdue, Wisconsin, and Northwestern so that by the time they're hosting Penn State, who struggled with Bowling Green yesterday, extensively struggled with Bowling Green, can we be looking at Wisconsin as a team at 3-2 that could potentially beat Penn State at home?
Yeah, I feel you. I see what you're saying.
You know what? If that happens, then this has a chance to be a great season.
And
great, and not just like okay season. If the Badgers could beat Penn State to go 4-2, then buckle up. This is the Luke Fickell era has arrived.
I see your perspective, and I love it because you're absolutely right. These first two games, though they were down, they don't really matter. They don't, because now it truly does matter to see exactly how you gauge yourself up against a team like Alabama. And I think, again,
but don't jump off the bandwagon.
I'm not jumping off the bandwagon.
No, I'm not. I'm saying if they lose to Alabama and USC, don't jump off the bandwagon.
No, you can't.
Because they're just not there right now. But they have to be able to then pull it together and go to Northwestern on whatever field they're playing on and win, right? Like that. If you're not gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're not gonna be competitive or win these biggest games, you better go beat Northwestern at Northwestern and then give fans something to be excited about going into that Penn State game.
I think these are some of the two biggest games for Luke Fickell early on in his tenure because depending, like you said, even if you don't win, how you compete can show you whether or not you're taking steps in the right direction. Because if you lose these two games, regardless of how you lose, and then you struggle for the rest of the year, then you know that this football team has not taken the next step. This is why these next two games are huge, because if the Wisconsin Badgers can compete or pull off an upset against one of these two teams, the trajectory of this overall program, the confidence, the recruiting, everything, it changes.
But the Badgers got blown out by Syracuse in a game way back in the day, like 32-0, week one. Like, that stuff can happen early in the year, especially when you come against a team that's just athletically at another level. But it's about how the team responds to that loss. And as Coach Alvarez says, to make sure they don't flinch. All right, we'll get back into the NFL as we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Save big money on new siding now at Menards. Update your home's exterior with Cedar Creek vinyl siding. This easy-to-install, low-maintenance siding withstands the elements and is available in 16 color options. Hurry in and save big money on Cedar Creek vinyl siding today. And check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
One call, that's all. Gruber Law Offices. As we start another season, Gruber Law Offices was there with you all summer long, doing all the things you did out at the Brewers games and out at your community activities and supporting the organizations you support. And they'll be there with you during the fall as well. Because Gruber Law Offices is from here, built here. 30-plus years of Gruber Law Offices, 40-plus years of David in Wisconsin doing what he does, which is support this local community and support people who are injured. Nationally recognized, but locally owned. That's so important. So if you or a loved one's ever injured, remember, it's not a marketing gimmick. It's a way of life at Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
The Saganiac Planning Marquette Basketball Greatest Scorers. Bobby Wolf averaged 22 a game in 1966. Over 20 a season is historically special at Marquette. And the next season in 67, he led the team in scoring playing with George Thompson. No one could have outscored brute force. He held the Marquette career scoring record for 40 years. Wrong. So how good was Bobby Wolf? Good enough to score more points than George Thompson on the same Marquette team. That's really good. If you're a company owner offering medical insurance for your employees, you may be sick and tired of the constant increase in rates or change in benefits. Now's the time to take a look at a different type of plan. At Saganiac Planning, it's called level funding, an opportunity to keep premiums low and possibly receive a return of your premiums. For more on level funding, call Steve Llewellyn, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Whether you're about to graduate high school or have been in the workforce for years, it's time to take control of your future. Welcome to Lakeland University, where you call the shots. We use our flexible learning formats to customize your degree path. In-person, online, and virtual classes are all available. Lakeland University is designed around you, your goals, your schedule, your future. You can even earn up to 25% of your degree via paid work experiences. Ready to take control of your future? Let us customize an education to fit your needs. Visit lakeland.edu/ESPN to learn more.
Grab your Lederhosen and Dirndls for Oktoberfest at the Golden Mast on Sunday, September 15th. Enjoy a fun-filled day with German food, beer, and live music on Okauchee Lake. It starts at 1:30 on Sunday, September 15th. Get your tickets at goldenmastin.com.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
So, Country Kyle, are you going to be it's a little cold for a boat day today?
No boat day. It's supposed to be 75. No boat day today.
Oh, is it going to be 75?
That's what my phone told me. And
okay.
I actually thought about getting out there in the boat, but it's supposed to be 80 this week.
So talk to me about how on a non-Packer Sunday you consume the NFL.
So yeah, I'll be consuming the NFL, just perusing around, especially week 1, just different games. So I'll be
Wait. So is this NFL Sunday Ticket?
Okay.
Is this Red Zone? Is this just watching the local game and looking at your fantasy on your apps? How you consuming the NFL?
And so for me, I'll be consuming it on the 2 local channels that we have here.
Yep.
For me, 5 and 6. Those will be the 2 channels that I'll be going back and forth. No Sunday Ticket for me. But then on top of that, checking my Underdog Fantasy app as well. Promo code KBN. Checking that.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to get in on Underdog Fantasy, use Kyle's code KBN. What's the offer if you get in right now?
So the deposit offer right now is that they'll match it up to $1,000 for your deposit. I believe, like up to. So
basically, if you deposit 100, they'll match 100. If you deposit 500, they'll match 500.
Up to. That's what they
said.
Up to.
Use code word KB. Join code KBN on Underdog Fantasy with Kyle.
It makes watching games so much more fun. But then on top of that, with the fantasy leagues that I'm in as well, so watching those and tracking that as well. So there's just a lot of juice today, and I am a football fan. So week 1, I'll be looking around.
But no Sunday Ticket for you.
No, Sunday Ticket costs money.
It's not in your. So wait,
in the budget. Not in the
budget.
So
do you watch TV like on an antenna? Like when you're saying go to 5 and 6, or do you have cable, or what are you watching?
Yeah, I don't want to out myself, but I have the ability to be able to watch some cable. I may or may not pay for it, but I have some ability to watch some cable. So I have the local channels. I got the channels.
Wait, is it someone's? All right,
it's a family plan. I'm on a family plan. What can I say?
Okay.
Shout out to the family plan.
Okay, so you're okay. but the family plan. So
No,
why
family
don't you
plan
say,
got
hey,
ticket.
family plan, I'll contribute the money for Sunday ticket to add it to the family plan.
Nah, life is too expensive. I got too many
Not Sunday
bills.
ticket, by the way. Sunday ticket's a lot. I'm saying just Red Zone.
How much is Red Zone per month?
Red Zone is probably on a sports package that's like $8 or something.
Oh, that's not bad. I enjoy just flicking back and forth. If I fall asleep, I'll take a nap. But I'm excited today because I'm not going to lie to you, Craig. I'm going to watch some of the Bears. I'm going to see what Caleb Williams is made of a little bit. But this is a big day. It's a big day. How do you consume NFL football? I know you got Sunday ticket, Sunday NFL.
No, I
Red
don't.
Zone.
I don't have Sunday ticket. I have Red Zone.
So you just get all the scores.
No, I have Red Zone. So I mean, Red Zone to me, I feel like I don't feel the need for Sunday ticket because I don't feel like I need to watch every snap of any one team. But with Red Zone, I feel like I have a good enough feel for every game that's going on, and then I have at least 2 devices where I'm tracking different fantasies and wagers and all that going on.
Yeah. Speaking of wagers, Craig, we went to Pato. We had our Pato, me, Ben, KBN.
Yes.
We went to Pato, and I placed some bets. And one of them was Jordan Love over 3,800 yards.
Ooh.
And I partially think I'm to blame because I don't usually do that, but I said, you know what, this is fun. The sportsbook is dope. And all of a sudden, I place a bet on Jordan Love.
Wait, so 3,800 yards.
Passing yards.
Let's say he ends up starting 13 games this year. He's got to average 300 yards to get your 3,800 yards.
I said it was easy money. That's what I said. I said easy money.
I don't think in gambling, I think all of us who've done it enough know that there's no such thing. Even when one feels that easy.
If he stayed healthy, it was easy money.
But
Greg.
that's a big if.
No, was it? I guess it was.
That's what I was saying coming into the year. You're like the Packers. It's an arrogance to, I'm saying, Jacoby Brissett for $8 million. And I know Jacoby Brissett wouldn't have maybe want to go somewhere where he would have no chance to start. But bringing a veteran in when winning and losing in the NFL is based on the quarterback position so much, why wouldn't you want someone who has competence? And I'm not saying that Willis can't develop into that, but he hasn't proven that over time. And obviously Clifford had not proven that over time. So if you think you're that good, if you think you're competing with the Lions to be the second best team in the NFC, which I think is where you think the Packers are, right?
Yes, I think the Packers.
Right, I think you think the 49ers are the best team, and the Packers are competing to be the second best team.
Yeah, I think there's 4 teams competing for number 2.
Are the Eagles in that mix?
The Packers, the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Lions.
Yeah,
top teams in the NFC.
And I think clearly not include anyone from the South. I mean, I think that's right. And so when you're thinking that, you're that close, and odds are. And I know it sounds easy to say it now, but odds are you're going to need a backup quarterback to win you a few games, right? Jordan Love, remember, he was the quarterback who went into Kansas City backing up Aaron Rodgers. He had to go in there. And now I know that was a weird COVID.
He didn't look good.
That was a weird COVID type situation, but he didn't look good. And that doesn't mean that if Willis comes in and doesn't look good, that he can't be a good NFL quarterback the way Jordan Love has turned into what should be an elite NFL quarterback. It just seems like it's worth it to always have a professional backup quarterback on your roster and to pay $6 to $10 million for that, given the importance of it, even if you never use it, to me is worth it. By the way, Dak Prescott, $221 million, I believe, of the dollars, either $221 or $231 guaranteed, which looks like it'll surpass Deshaun Watson to be the most guaranteed money also ever given to an NFL quarterback. So congratulations to Dak on that. He got killed by the Packers, and that is his reward. Yep. Your reward is, if you stick with us, you'll have our Palermo's picks next. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
How would you like to own a jewelry store?
Kessler's Diamonds is an employee-owned company.
And Kessler's is growing. Are you the kind of person we're looking for?
Does it make you happy to make other people happy?
Are you a problem solver?
Would you like to wake up every morning knowing that you're going to help a lot of people find joy today?
Kessler's Diamonds is people serving people.
Keep in mind that Kessler's is owned by its employees. So let me ask you this. Are you a good enough leader that you can be an owner who leads other owners?
Don't worry, you don't have to know about diamonds. We can teach you about diamonds. But the people we're looking for aren't looking for a job.
Did someone pop into your head just now?
Do you think you might know who we're looking for?
Give that person a call.
Send them an email.
Tell them to walk into Kessler's Diamonds and say to the person who greets them,
I think I want to work here.
Welcome to Kessler's.
A fantastic place to buy jewelry and a wonderful place to work.
For the store nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
After every single green and gold game,
You can say it doesn't matter, but that's not being fair.
there's only one place to go for instant reaction.
Once since they won the Super Bowl in 2010, one season, have they done better than 10th in points given up.
And to give yours on the Boda Box Wine Line. Tune into Green Bay Game Night with Homer after every green and gold game. Right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
I'm Ben Jewick with Coakley Brothers and Brothers Interiors. The crew is winning ball games here in Milwaukee and around the country. Our team stands ready to help your organization win across North America. Powered by Coakley Connect, our revolutionary facilities management platform. The Coakley crew supports clients across the country manage their real estate portfolio, offering facility-focused products and services, interior design, construction, new furniture, installation, and move management. We'll help you create and manage interior environments that drive your teams forward. Visit CoakleyBrothers.com and hit a home run.
At Skechers, we put the S in comfort. Now, I know you're probably spelling comfort in your head and asking yourself, is that possible? Am I just a really bad speller? Look, I don't know your spelling aptitude, but Skechers most definitely put the S in comfort because Skechers is the comfort technology company and has developed fits and features that change everything you know about comfort, like hands-free Skechers slip-ins, the ultimate in comfort and convenience. It's footwear you just step into and they're on, with no bending down. Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
Go to the head of the class on your next vehicle purchase exclusively at the Kunis Auto Group's Back to School sales event.
Good morning, class.
Expect a straight A passing grade when you add up the savings on your next vehicle from the automotive scholars at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region Kunis Auto Group dealerships. America's best-selling cars, trucks, and SUVs from both Buick and GMC, all marked down with September Back to School discounts and savings. We're also offering incredible Back to School discounts on our entire inventory of select pre-owned vehicles. Choose from over 1,500 vehicles on lot and online. While online, check out dozens of back-to-school service specials on everything from brakes, tires to oil changes. Plus, with a test driver purchase each week in September, 4 lucky winners will win free gas for a year. All at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region Kunis Auto Group dealerships in both Oak Creek and Greenfield. It's the Kunis Auto Group's exclusive September back-to-school sales event going on now. For additional event info, go to shopkunis.com.
College students, are you looking to make your campus living more comfortable, functional, and fashionable this year? Let IKEA Oak Creek help. From innovative storage solutions and furniture to maximize your space, to fashionable bedding and accessories to make it uniquely yours, IKEA is helping make college living truly inspired by you. And now, qualified college students can get 15% off their IKEA purchases. Visit IKEA Oak Creek or check out the Ready for College section on IKEA.com/US to learn more.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. It's racing season at the legendary Great Lakes Dragaway, and our schedule of events is ready. We've still got our yearly holiday weekend races like Labor Day weekend, plus Nitrous Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, and Night of Fire. You can also book corporate and private events. Take advantage of our season-long passes and even schedule a time to take your car down the legendary quarter mile. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for pricing and info. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
It's that time.
Yes, it's finally here.
Craig makes his picks of the week.
you can bet the house on it.
Picks of the Week on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin. Presented by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Can't wait to see what happens next.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Oh boy, it is Palermo's Picks and a big opportunity. We said there's so much going on between games and gambling and fantasy and all that. But I think the pick that needs to be talked about is the paying off of the bet. So it sounds like we are set, right, for October 11th?
Oh, that's the day, October 11th? I saw the date. I thought it was like the 8th or something like that. The 11th, yeah, I've heard.
Friday, October 11th, I'll be going off to pay off my losings from last year. 24 hours in a restaurant. I don't know that we've officially confirmed the location, but we will share it with you once it is set. But 24 hours, and then your job, right? You had said you were going to review and determine how I could reduce my time at said restaurant, and the KBN crew.
We'll talk about that this week, because we talked about it maybe off air, that maybe that was a cop-out for you, because eating bacon to get 15 minutes versus eating pancakes and waffles, I don't want to give you an easy out.
Okay, well, you guys could decide. And then we said that Jen, Gabe, and Chewy would co-sign. I'm not trying to make it easier for myself. I'm paying my dues. I lost our Cover 5 League. Next week, we will announce our new Cover 5 League for this season, which should be fun and exciting. Although I don't think I'm here next week. But it will be announced next week, which should be fun and exciting. Oh, our show's not on. That's why.
Oh,
right?
yeah, because of
the Packers and Colts play at noon.
Maybe we'll do something on social.
Yeah. Well, we may have to wait another week before it all gets going, because next week the Packers and Colts kick off at noon. So Green Bay game day will be leading in at this time. But I am paying off the bet. I know people have wondered. It will be October 11th. Many more details to come on that. So thanks to everybody who joined today. What was that? Oh, of course. Our Palermo's Picks are brought to us by our good friends at Palermo's Family of Brands. Football season is here. That means it's all football and Palermo's. That means it's a screaming Sicilian for you today. That's right. When you're watching that late game and it's like the 2-minute warning of the afternoon game, throw in that pizza. And that's if you're not having Palermo's for dinner. You have a little pizza appetizer. You eat it at halftime of the 3:15 game and enjoy your Palermo's while you're watching Tom Brady's debut on that Cowboys-Browns game. Or you do it for dinner. And Urban Pie Connie's Surfer Boy, Palermo's Screamin' Sicilian, locally owned, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. You're supporting Wisconsin, brand of the Felucas for over 60 years in Wisconsin. Palermo's Pizza is our hometown pizza. We have the game of the day coming up next. It's Justin Fields. It's Kirk Cousins, a battle of last year's NFC North quarterbacks. Coming up next. Stay healthy, stay together, survive today, thrive tomorrow. You've been listening to Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Don't settle. Kyle, send us out.
Peace.
This is ESPN Wisconsin and ESPNWisconsin.com.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
$1 million. That's big, really big. This September, Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is handing out a cool $1 million and